IncubatorWarehouse.com presents HatchTalk Podcast. Here we go, episode 2. Welcome to HatchTalk.
It's good to be back.
It's good to be back. Hey, we made it. Episode 2, you know. Theme of this episode today, this is pretty common. It's wintertime. Where's my eggs go? Egg production's down. It slows down. Why is it slowing down? What's going on?
Unionized chickens generally.
Those damn lazy chickens.
Yeah, they, they got with the union. They said they're done with that. No, really, it's just a biological thing. It's just kind of what they do during the winter months to preserve their own health and make sure they make it through the winter in one piece. Honestly.
Okay. Well, is there anything we can do to keep our egg production up? We don't want those lazy chickens living freeloading. How can we help them out?
There definitely is. Why you want to play it safe? Why not, overdoing it? There's definitely some things that can be done to help with the egg production. Artificial lighting, more vitamin-rich, healthier food, constant supply of water.
That's key.
That is key for sure.
The biggest thing is if you have a dehydrated bird, you're not going to get eggs. They're too worried about drinking than they are making eggs.
Yep. Yeah, it's winter time for birds. For chickens, I don't want to necessarily call it survival mode, but it's just more of kind of how we have Christmas break. They just have an extended Christmas break where they just take it easy and coast through life.
Their slow down break.
Yep.
Yeah, and you don't want to put too much pressure on your chicken to be laying all the time. I mean, that might shorten the length of time you actually have eggs with that chicken. So
yeah, and it definitely can have some effects on their health as well. It's as much as we like to interfere and dabble in things, sometimes it's just best to let nature run its course.
Yeah. And I mean, they slow down for natural reasons. I mean, daylight in the winter, it gets shorter. I mean, we're up here in Idaho. It's almost dark at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
So these chickens aren't getting used to the, regular, just like the cycles we go through as people. I'm getting tired when it comes 9 o'clock. My wife hates it.
Yeah, I was ready to nap before this podcast even started, so I feel that.
Me too. So yeah, I mean, if we can adjust though, that's why lay lights work so well. With us, if we have more sun therapy, I mean, if you try it, I actually do red light therapy more in the winter, so I can get more of the vitamin D production and have more energy. It's the same for chickens with lights. That's why. At Incubator Warehouse, we actually sell lay lights. I mean, you can check them out. Here's a good example.
Yep.
We got the Coop lay light right here.
Yep. So, it's not necessarily the cold that's slowing your chickens down. It's the lack of daylight. It's the shorter days, things like that. It's all just natural chicken behavior. So what the lay light does is just, kind of extends the amount of daylight that they have throughout the day. And it can kind of bring them into a more summer-like laying cycle, if you will. And some people are definitely against this kind of thing. There's people who just like to let their birds be birds and do their thing. But if you are reliant on eggs, if you need your egg production to stay at a decent, interval throughout the winter, something like the lay light is definitely the right option for you.
Yeah, and if you're looking for a great deal of lay lights, click on the show notes or look at the captions. There'll be a link there. Definitely a great thing to add to your coop if you do want to try to maintain egg production.
Definitely.
It'll give them the little boost they need with the lights they actually do.
Yep.
So, I mean, one of the biggest things why, again, egg production goes down is our birds are conserving energy. They're conserving body heat. So whatever you can do to make sure they're not, having that little furnace work overtime, that's going to be good.
That is correct.
We got to feed the furnace, so you got to definitely give the proper food. You're going to adjust your feed in the winter. Have you done anything for feed adjustment?
Generally I check over into some more corn-based feeds, either cracked corn or whole corn, depending on how old the birds are, things like that. I've never tried the red pepper flakes and some of the other things that people do. Generally for me, it's table scraps and added corn to their meal. That definitely seems to help them out. You kind of, what we say, it's not necessarily the cold, it's the lack of daylight. The cold still is going to have a little bit of effect on your birds. So anything you can do to help keep their natural body heat up and things like that is going to be great. You don't necessarily look at it as, plumping them up. You're just making sure they stay fed and they have that energy to make it through the colder days.
Yep. And I mean, a big thing, like we mentioned earlier, your water intake. Just like for us, if you're get dehydrated, if you're stressed, if your chickens get dehydrated, if they're stressed because your water is frozen and they can't get access to water, it's gonna cause a problem. So they're gonna reallocate those resources for water. So that's why I highly recommend, if you are having trouble and if you have access to power, or if you want to plug in a battery and get one of our water-based, options, the water warmer bucket is a great option. Just
Yep.
goes right underneath it.
And when a chicken goes to get water, it's used to going to point A to get its nutrients. It knows its water's there. It goes there. When it goes there and its water's frozen over, they can't get anything from it. It causes a little bit of stress on the bird. It's not necessarily anything that's too detrimental, but the lack of water is very detrimental. You definitely want to make sure they're staying hydrated, and yeah, one of our water warmers, either with or without the thermostat, is going to be ideal for something like that, because it provides enough heat from the base that it's going to keep the whole thing nice and thawed out, not get it too warm or anything like that. Not that the chickens are going to mind some warm water, but it's definitely one of the safer routes to providing some sort of heat to your water.
Yeah, if your conditions getting consistently on below 32, your water's going to get frozen.
Mhm.
So that if that's the case, you're either going to have to be filling up more water buckets, water troughs, or you're going to have to find a solution like the water thermostat for sure.
Yep.
So speaking of winter, we have some tips and tricks. Here's our top 5 winter prep support to help your egg production naturally. Okay. Number 1, we want to make sure our coop and our chickens are dry. They get plenty of ventilation, a healthy respiratory system, conserving energy, making sure they're not getting sick because of, too much water, humidity is a big thing.
Very big thing. Very big thing. Another thing you want to worry about is an uninterrupted water source. Like I said a little earlier in the cast, hydration directly impacts their digestion and their laying abilities, and obviously, you wouldn't want to go without water in the winter or at any amount of time, really. So it's a good habit to make sure your birds are always well hydrated. That's going to cut back into things like using maybe a water warmer or something like that to make sure that they don't ice up during the winter. But it is definitely an important thing to think of.
Uninterrupted water is huge. They're not in a state of stress for sure. That's going to help the eggs. And a non-stressed bird is a happy bird, which is a laying bird. So another big thing, consistent light cues. I know we talked about this a little bit with the lay light, but if you can get your bird predictably supporting their hormones by getting them in a natural rhythm, even though winter days are shorter, if we can extend that out with some light cues, getting some artificial light in the pins can be a huge thing for the coop, which will settle those chickens even more.
We're talking lay lights, not heating lamps.
Lay lights, yeah.
Yep.
Lay lights, not heating lamps. I said light, not lamp. For sure.
Something else to think about is wind protection. You want to make sure that you're keeping them out of the harsh wind without sealing your coop or your run up. It's good to put some protective barriers up. It's good to keep them warm, but you don't want to trap the moisture and the rest of the stuff in the coop. You want to make sure it's still nice and ventilated and has a good flow to it.
Yeah. So if you want to put some plastic wrap around, just make sure it's vented. If you want to stack up some hay bales against one other root to cut down on the wind, that's going to be good.
Yep.
You want to make sure that your run and your coop has got good insulation and good ventilation.
Yep. You don't want any kind of moisture buildup in there. That is a bad thing to happen during the winter. So just if you are doing that, just keep your eye on it to make sure you're not getting any kind of buildup.
And our last little tip, a predictable daily routine. Chickens are actually pretty routine based. If you can get your chickens into a good routine where they're letting out of the coop at a certain time, they're expecting that. If we can get them into that daily routine, that actually reduces stress on the chicken. They know what's going to go on. They know when to come back in. That could be huge. And if you want more hands-off method, you could even do one of our remote doors.
Yep. Yep. We do have what we call the auto Coop door. It's a little sliding door on an actuator with a little controller on it. You set your open and close times. It does it automatically for you. That way your chickens can go out and come back in, when on their schedule, if you will. Also, it is chicken safe. It's not going to cut any of your chickens in half if it closes on them. It's got a little sensor. It'll come down and be like, oh, there's a dumb bird there. Let's go back up. And then it'll try to reclose later, so that way nothing gets back in the coop afterwards.
So you're not going to get any Indiana Jones chicken fiascos, the door closing, grabbing the hat.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. So yeah, they're chicken safe. Well, next thing we were going to talk about some natural supplementation for your chickens. In the winter for food, here are some natural things you can be adding into your feed or giving them to them as snacks. One of the most popular is the red pepper flakes. We talked about a little bit about that last time. I've done a little bit more research on it. Yes, they don't taste the heat, people. Your chickens can be Kung Pao chickens. They can have the spice. It's fine, but it will give better circulation and support. I think that's the biggest thing. Where's the biggest change is it helps boost up the metabolic rate for them. So, they're not going to be, breathing fire, but it'll start a fire in their belly when that'll help production of eggs.
And they definitely don't need it with every meal. That's something to keep in mind. A couple times a week should be good.
Throw it in your chicken treats for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sprinkle that in 1 or 2 times a week. Cracked corn.
One of my personal favorites. I only feed that kind of stuff during the colder months. I don't expect my chickens to be able to survive off cracked corn. It doesn't provide, all the nutrients and everything they're going to need, but it's definitely a good way to help just keep that internal heater running for them. Kind of just gives them a little extra, little boost throughout the winter, if you will.
Yeah, and if you want to give it to them right before they go into the coop for the night, that's probably a good idea too, because it's harder to digest, so it'll be slower digestion.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll actually provide more calories over that longer period of time where they're not moving as much, where they're roosting down for the night.
So another thing you can use is oyster shells and grit. It supports shell strength for their eggs and things like that. It also helps with digestion, breaking down the food, the cracked corn, things like that. And during the winter months when they are kind of lacking nutrients, or they're putting those nutrients into their own well-being, the added oyster shells will definitely help keep the egg shells nice and hard.
One thing to check out that I, never really delved into, but I found out about research was black oil sunflower seeds. Okay, so these health benefits are that for their feather support and more winter calories. I guess you're throwing that more into it.
Yep.
So
That
makes sense though, because it's a heartier seed, just like corn.
Yep. All in moderation. All in moderation. Something to keep in mind with any of this. This definitely isn't something you want to have being, their everyday essential diet. This is just stuff to help them out when they need it.
Now, one thing that I actually take every day, and this is a good thing to give your chickens, is apple cider vinegar.
With mother.
Yes, but make sure when you buy the apple cider vinegar, it is the mother on it, for sure, because you can get the ones without it, and that's just nasty water.
Yeah. Yep. It's the mother bacteria, or whatever we want to call it. Is it a bacteria?
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bacteria.
Yeah. I'm not
definitely
a biologist, but I'd say
it's a chunk of something in our cider, in our apple cider vinegar. So that's what you're really looking for.
And just like for us, it helps our gut support. It's going to help your chicken's gut support too. So it'll help the chicken digestion, which will help your eggs, production.
Yep.
So those are some natural remedies. Start throwing them in your chicken treats. Put a few drops in your chicken water for the, apple cider vinegar.
Yep.
But that's where you want to be for that.
Anything to make their life easier.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of we're trying to name this. I think we'll call it Coop It or Poop It, or Hatch It or Crap It. Here's some chicken hacks from around the internet. Let's check them out.
Let's do it. I just like saying poop, so I'm okay with this. Yeah.
All right.
Video for anyone who has chickens. Unfortunately, I don't
is
because
this?
city
I don't-
life. But these
What are they
tips
trying to
still
build here?
blew
I
me
don't-
away. First,
This isn't
she
like
built
a-
a full chicken
first
coop
off, it's
complete
not a
with
coop.
cozy nest
That's more
using
like
just
a-
2 crates, some foam stuffing,
a nesting
an old
box.
light bulb, and straw.
I thought she was
That's
trying
it.
to light up the other
Minimal
side of the chicken.
materials, maximum comfort for her flock.
Oh, that's
Next,
interesting.
she made
Why would
chicken
you-
treats to keep them hydrated.
Chicken
Using
treats.
an egg-shaped
Chicken treats,
silicone
this is
mold,
smart.
she
This is
filled it
smart.
with
Chickens
corn
need
Oh, I
things
like
to
that.
help
That
them
gives them
entertain.
some-
bonus. It makes them eat
That might be
slower,
good,
which
but I don't know
apparently
for
is
the
a
winter.
thing.
I mean, that's a good
And
treat for the
finally,
summer.
she rigged up a fun seed dispenser with jars mounted on a long stick.
I mean,
She drilled
you want
holes in the
to,
sides
you could
and
do
lids
that, but-
so the chickens themselves make the seeds.
This is for the
come out.
hardcore chicken
Smart.
keepers
this
here.
is for the DIY people
Yeah.
that want to.
I don't.
A video for anyone
I
who
can
has
honestly say I've
chickens.
never had a chicken smart
Unfortunately,
enough that
don't,
I feel like it would be able to
because
figure that last one out.
Yeah, I don't think that's a.
Yeah. And
Personally-
this, don't do whatever this is. I don't.
This looks all like poop it, not coop it.
Yeah, yeah. I think we got a poop, a coop, and a poop from this one.
Yeah, poop, coop, and poop.
Yeah,
For sure. All right.
that is fun to say.
It is fun to say. All right. So let's go to this next one. So this is from the gardener next door.
You know what's one thing that nobody tells you about when you get chickens is that in the winter you need to go in and fill up their water every single day. Now,
Well, I
this
mean,
isn't a
that's pretty
long
obvious.
ask,
You
it
need to
doesn't take
give
that
your
much
chickens
long
water every
time,
day.
but their water will freeze over
But
depending
why
on
don't you do yourself a
the
favor
coop that you have them
and
in
get a bigger
and
watering
whether it
source?
is outside.
And then-
But when temperatures are dropping, you
Yeah,
need to
I
refresh
feel-
their water and give them something clean, and it means that you're going to need to go outside every single day.
They're not going to go through 5 gallons of water in a day. Just throwing that out there.
And
So
Reminder,
it doesn't need to
you know
be
what's
filled up
one
every
thing
day
that
if you're using a
nobody tells you
5
about
gallon
when you get
bucket.
chickens?
How many
You just need to
chickens
keep
are
it
fitting in
freezing.
that coop that you're going to need 5
Yeah,
gallons?
yeah.
Every
I
single
definitely think that this is you don't need to fill it up every day unless you have a lot of chickens,
Yeah,
and
this
unless
is.
it's freezing over a lot.
I don't think this falls under a poop or a coop. This is more of a common sense thing, you know.
And why would she put her water right into the coop?
Yeah, that's asking for problems. So
Don't put your water in a coop.
yeah, look. So you can see there's a lot of poop and buildup in her coop already. Adding water to it in the winter months is just a recipe for disaster, honestly. But I like where the idea is coming from. It's good knowledge, obviously, but you don't have to fill up a 5 gallon bucket every day if you're just keeping it thawed out, honestly.
This looks like it's more for the clicks
Yeah.
than the giving you tips.
Definitely a click it.
It's the clips more than tips.
Yeah.
I mean, coop it obviously, but don't put the water in the coop.
Yeah.
Keep your chickens water.
You can keep it outside in the run. It doesn't need to be inside the coop where it's even more sealed up and stuff like that. Because you're asking for moisture problems.
Exactly.
Welcome back,
All
Tiny
right,
Farmers.
from
winter's
AM
upon
Tiny
us, and
Farm.
We don't know how
Some
hard it
ice.
is to keep fresh, clean water.
That guy
for
just
our
called me
So
chickens.
they
tiny.
have some
One of the ways
chickens
we
that
like to
are
combat
very
this
thirsty. You can tell
is
here.
using these watering and feeding cups that
So
my
you're
brother
saying
recommended this past summer.
use these.
Those
feeding
chickens
cups
look
for the
so
summer.
confused.
Chickens drink 1 to 1.5 cups of
Well,
water
that's
during
true.
the summer months, and they reduce
But-
that down to half to 3/4 cup during the winter months.
I think
These
they actually drink more in the
half-gallon cups
winter. in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I've never
and
heard
give
that
our chickens plenty of time to
that
drink water
statistic
during
before,
the winter
honestly.
months. As you can see, the ice is frozen solid inside the cups.
Yeah.
That's
and
what
with a
happens
quick
in the
flip
winter,
of the
yeah.
wrist, slides right out.
Okay, people.
These sturdy cups are made
These
in the USA.
okay.
and
These are
because of
probably
its
great to
outward
clip
shape,
on
it actually
your
forces
shed
the
like they
block
had.
of ice
These are
out.
not great for
while
the
freezing.
winter. This is not.
Clean water and proper nutrition is vital for the health
Yeah,
of your
clean
birds
water and
during the
proper
winter
nutrition
months
is vital,
and
but
will translate into optimal egg
So-
not
laying
having a
performance.
water source is
If you would
not.
like to know
I can
where
see
you
how this would be
please
applicable,
comment
you know, if
below.
you don't have any
Don't forget
power
to
to your
like and
coop
follow
or
for
something
more.
like that. But still, you don't want to let them freeze over like that. Like your chickens are constantly going to be looking for their water. And you can see at the beginning of that video, the way they're reacting, like they know what should be there, but they're stuck with these blocks of ice. So if you do have to run something like that, you may be needing to check and replace multiple times a day,
Yeah.
or get up early enough in the morning to where they're not trying to start their day by pecking a ice block.
Yeah. Change your water method. That'd be in my opinion. This is more of a crap it. If it was me, I wouldn't be wasting my time filling up these little trays all day
Yeah, no.
long.
Coop it in the summer, crap it in the winter for
Well,
sure.
And these summers are, I mean, these trays, the surface area is really long, which would be easy to build up ice. So these are not good.
Yeah.
Don't get those. Get the buckets, get the easy feed, get a heater if you can have, electricity out to it. Do yourself a favor. Don't stress over your chickens.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely an interesting way to go about it. Probably not the way I'd do it, but I mean, if it works for them, it works for them.
Hey,
The
some
chickens
people
just didn't look too happy about it.
some people just like doing more work.
Yeah, true.
All right. Now from TikTok, here's an interesting one I found. This is
Man has a chicken in a jar.
he's got a chicken in a jar.
I only learned something this simple and useful just now. 1. Here's a little trick for raising chickens. Put a
What?
plastic bag over the chicken's
Wait,
bottom
start
and
this one
secure
over
it to
for
its
me.
wing.
I want to just
Okay.
I want to go back here. I
Hold
want to
on.
look at something.
First off, he's got a chicken in a
in a
I can't
plastic
believe
jug.
I
that
only
was,
plastic
learned
jug
something
that he
this
cut
simple
open
and
in
useful
half.
just
that's a rooster.
1. Here's a little trick
That's not
for
even the same
raising
bird.
chickens. Put a
That's not the
plastic
same bird.
bag over the chicken's bottom and secure it to its wings. This way, you can collect the droppings
but
easily if
why?
you're raising chickens at home. 2. If you
Dude.
have
All right, hold on. Wait a second.
What?
Hold on.
the droppings
So,
raising
the
chickens
chicks.
at home, you can collect the
Well, first off, why would you need to do this? Why are you keeping chickens in the house?
Don't keep your
if you're-
chickens in the house,
if
people. Don't
you're
do
in
that.
Asia, that's fine.
Why does that look like there's water in the bottom of that bag too?
I don't know.
I do not like this already.
This is not a hack.
No,
This is definitely not keep it.
this is a click it. This is for the clicks.
This is for the clicks.
you can collect easily if you're raising
look at
chickens
how
at
cute
home.
those
What are they
chicks are.
doing?
They put masks and little bows on. People,
I
internet, you should be ashamed. Don't pass this off as a hack.
I do not like this. No, this is not a practical life hack at all.
I think you're probably hurting these little chicks.
I feel lied to.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
No, this is definitely not a chicken hack. This is not a coop. This is a poop.
God, imagine having to change those things
This
too.
is not a hack. It's crap.
Yeah. Don't coop it, poop it.
All right. Now, coming up, here's one from Facebook. This is the Homesteading RD. If you're living in the north, here's your reminder to scoop out underneath your coop door now so you can open them later.
Oh.
How I know. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
this is actually pretty good. I mean, in the winter, the ground freezes.
Yep.
If you have any kind of buildup above there, you're not going to be able to pull that door open to the frozen ground.
Right. Yeah. Definitely a smart idea there. Kind of a common sense thing. Like you want to make sure that your door is clear of, stuff build up all the time, but definitely in the winter months, this is going to definitely save you some pains and aches trying to rip that thing open if it's frozen shut.
Already the end of the video. Someone probably had this idea before.
Okay, here's this idea.
But I went to Tractor Supply and I bought these like squirrel protector things where it's normally supposed to be baffle, that's what it's called. I forgot what it's
Oh,
called.
okay.
So
I see what they're
normally
doing.
it's supposed to,
So they're
put
stopping
birdseed
the chickens from
squirrels off
hopping
of
on
it,
top
but
of it by putting the baffle on it, and that way they're not going to be pooping in their
it
food.
over the chicken feed, and the chickens will eat the feed.
Yeah.
And
That's
they won't
I like
open the
that.
feed.
Smart.
That's what
I
was
like that
having
because
trouble
it
with,
can
is
hook
that,
right in.
and it
It's
was
easy to
kinda
do it because most
attached
chicken
to
feeds are just
the hanger.
they're already hanging there.
yeah.
And
You
so,
want 'em off the
it
ground
keeps it
anyways.
a lot cleaner. They don't jump on it and poop on it and everything. And so far, so
Yeah.
good.
I think that's a great idea.
I think this is a coop it, guys.
So,
Put this in your coop.
this
Try
is
it out. It's definitely a
Already
hack,
another
chicken
video.
hack.
Someone probably had this idea before.
Well,
Yeah.
But
great
I
idea.
went to Tractor Supply and I bought
Yeah, I agree.
these,
Definitely a
like,
keeper there.
squirrel,
that's a keeper.
protector things where it's
All
not
right.
supposed to be
Coop approved. Psh.
Keeper, not a crapper.
All right.
Here's a chicken hack that you can use so that your water doesn't freeze so easily during the winter time. So if you don't want to put electricity into your coop,
How to
here's a way to do
not
it electricity free so it doesn't freeze so easy.
Show us.
How are you doing
If you're
this?
having a problem with your chicken water freezing, a few things that
Common
you can
problem.
do.
Get it out of
It's
your
only
coop,
been out
sir.
there for a few hours already freezing, so take any kind of water bottle. Any kind of water bottle you can fit into your water container. Add salt, water,
Okay. I like where this
so
is
you have no
going.
leaks.
So
You're gonna put
now
that
obviously if
into
that's in
your
the middle,
container.
the salt water
Now,
won't
fill it up
freeze.
for the chickens.
Right.
So that'll stay at ambient
And
temperature.
that bottle, that salt
And-
water doesn't freeze. I don't know necessarily all the science into it, but someone taught me this hack. So if you don't want to put electricity into your coop, good way to keep your water from freezing so fast here during the winter times, especially when it's
Okay,
below
well that's
freezing
a
here in
that's a
Michigan.
pretty
But
good
here's a
hack.
chicken hack that you can use.
I
so
would
your
try
water
that.
doesn't freeze so easily during
I would
the winter
personally
time.
try that.
So if you don't want
That's
to put electricity
interesting.
into your
And also, I do apologize to this man because I just claimed that he was keeping the water in the coop. Looks like it's just in the run. My apologies, sir. But that is a pretty nifty idea. I would like to know the science behind that, honestly.
Well, I mean, it's just like when you salt the roads, right? So the salt and water have a chemical reaction,
Mm-hmm.
and the selenium water, salinated is probably the word, has a lower freezing temperature. That's just like in Utah. You go to Utah, the Great Salt Lake does not freeze over because the salt, the salt content won't freeze. So this won't freeze.
So that's actually at a different temperature inside that water container. Okay.
Yeah, because it's becoming a different form of water. It's a high salt water. You're changing the chemical makeup of the water, which lowers the freezing temperature. It makes sense. It can get cold enough where that's going to freeze entirely, but he's right. It'll slow down the freezing.
Yeah.
Give it a try.
Coop it.
Let us know. Tag us in this if you see this and you try this. Let us know how well it works for you and where you're at. Obviously, this would work really well in Idaho where we're at.
If we could get some freezing temperatures.
It doesn't get that cold here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I doubt that's going to work in Alaska.
Yeah. Still, very interesting.
That's awesome, though.
A lot of people use expensive lime for their chicken coop. This is barn lime. $5 at Tractor Supply for 50 pounds. There's no reason in the world that I would ever spend the money that people are spending on the expensive lime. It's 50 pounds for $5. Just use this. It's perfect. A lot of people use expensive lime for their...
That's actually not a bad deal. Of $5 for 50 pounds of lime.
I've never used lime.
You never used lime in your coop?
I've never have. I don't even.
Well, it cuts if you put lime down. This is part of the deep litter method. If you put lime down after you've done your spring clean out of the coop, put it down. That's going to cut down on the smell. But it also when you take all that out before too, and you'll sprinkle it on occasionally too, but it helps activate when you put all that into your compost too. Lime's a good activator.
Look at this guy teaching me. Learning something new every day. I like this.
If you want a less smelly coop, if you don't put lime down, sprinkle the lime on it. I'll find another video and I'll show you people doing it. But that is a good chicken hack.
Yeah, that sounds like one. Definitely for that price, you can't go wrong with that if that's something that people are using. $5 for 50 pounds.
Yeah, if you got Tractor Supply in your area and they have that, how do you even pronounce that? Wakashina? Waukesha. The Waukesha barn lime. Get the lime. That's good stuff to have. I mean, lime's good to have too if you need to, hide a body.
Yeah. Hey, I did know that, surprisingly.
Right? But no, it's the same reason for science why you put it in your chicken coop. Helps break down, helps the microbiome in the area, and it'll cut down on the smell. So, but that's a hack for how cheap that is.
Yeah, that's a killer price.
That's a great deal. All right, let's do one more.
Do chickens like snow? Chickens are a lot like people. Some love the snow and others absolutely hate it, which is pretty understandable because if I was native to a tropical rainforest and I got dropped off in the middle of Antarctica, I'd be pretty ticked too. There's a lot of breeds that are adapted to the cold, and as long as they can walk in the snow, they're just fine. Their feet and feathers keep them pretty well insulated, so just like Elsa, the cold never bothered them anyway. But this one does seem to be a little upset. What you really got to worry about is when the snow is too tall for them to walk, they fly into it, get stuck, freeze, and die. Or when the snow melts and you end up with frostbite. That's why dry bedding is so important and why I recommend this hemp bedding from Eaton Pet and Pasture to absorb all that moisture. But if that's taken care of, chickens in the snow is no big deal.
The making sure not letting the chickens out if the snow gets too high.
Yep.
So I didn't know that if the chicken just runs head into it, they're gonna get frozen in it.
Yeah, chickens aren't smart. Something you got to remember.
Yeah, they're not smart, but hey, they taste good.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
But yeah, the deep bedding, I mean, that's going to keep your chickens warm anyways. We talked about the deep litter method a little bit. We'll probably do a little bit more on that next week. How to do deep litter method. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
So,
and I've never seen the hemp husk bedding, but I can imagine how well that works and probably pretty cost effective too.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, hemp husk is probably decent.
Yeah. Very interesting. That was a good one. That was definitely a good one.
Well, I think that's good for Coop It or Keep It. We found some good keeps. We found some good craps. We'll go from there. So to recap, for the episode? What were the big takeaways you'd say?
Make sure your birds stay well watered
Well-watered.
with non-frozen water, which we also call ice, because birds can't drink ice. Make sure that you are supplementing their intake, their food intake, with some cracked corn or some red pepper flakes, things like that. Things to just kind of help keep that internal heater running and help them burn the least amount of energy possible.
Yep. And looking for some just other supplementation to keep them boosted health. Check out those. We'll put the recipes in the show notes of what you can be doing. But don't forget to like and follow us too. Subscribe to the podcast. But I'm Sean.
I'm Patrick.
And this has been Hatch Talk. Happy hatching.